Hi, I'm James Harbeck. For today's pronunciation tip, I'm going to do Latvian. James, why Latvian? Well, I'll tell you what. Every 2 years, summer, winter, the Olympics come around and I use it as an excuse to talk about the pronunciation of names from different countries. And I realized that I have yet to do Latvian. Why would I do Latvian? Because I have a fair amount of exposure to it because my wife has a Latvian connection on her side. So I get to learn bits and pieces of Latvian, such as Lūdzu dod man vīnu, which means please give me wine. Very useful. And sveiks, meaning cheers and welcome. And it's sort of like the all-purpose Latvian greeting and so forth. So I'm going to start by giving you some tips about how to pronounce Latvian words, names, so forth, and then I'll tell you how to say the names of the Latvian 2024 Olympic team. The good news is, for English speakers, Latvian isn't all that difficult, and you're unlikely to get really far off course with it. But there are still some tricks. So, Latvian has the usual 5 vowels, which we call A, E, I, O, U in English, and nobody else calls them that. And it has long and short versions of these vowels. So, short A, A, long A, A, short I, E, long I, E, short U, U, long U, U. And then there's E, which can be either E and A or A and A. How do you know which it is? Well, it really helps if you're Latvian. And if you're not Latvian, then you ask a Latvian speaker. And aside from that, you pretty much guess. Sorry. Look it up. And then there's O, which is normally pronounced U. Right, like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever talking about not having money. Oh, we're poor. Yeah, like that. So the famous conductor, which we usually say in English, Arthur Ozelins. Arthurs Ozelins. Okay, so, but there is an exception. Names that have been recently borrowed from other languages just have an O sound, as you might find as I go through the names. The consonants are largely what you would expect, allowing that, for instance, J is ya. The things to watch out for, C is ts. C with the little caron on it is ch. S with the same thing on it is sh. Z, or for Americans Z, is zh. And then there's the comma. Certain letters have a little comma underneath or above them, and that indicates palatalization, which is the difference between, for instance, the k in coot and the k in cute, that k. So K with the comma under it is k. G is g. L is ly. N is nya. All words, as a rule, have the stress on the first syllable, regardless. And as a rule, stops and fricatives devoice at the end of a word. So S at the end of a word is S, not Z. A fun thing about Latvian is that in general, masculine nouns, and particularly names, end in S, just an S. It looks like it's plural to an English I. And I always think, oh yeah, Latvia is a small country, so they need to look like there's more of them. Feminine names tend to end in A or sometimes E. So, without further ado, here are the names of the Latvian Olympic team at the 2024 Olympics. On track, Gunta, Vaičule, and Agate, Caune. On field, Valters, Kreišs, Gatis, Čakšs, Patriks, Gailums, Rūta, Lasmane, Līna, Mūze, Anete, Sietiņa. In basketball, 3x3s, Kārlis, Lasmanis, Nauris, Miezis, Zigmārs, Raimo, Francis, Lācis. In cycling, Toms, Skujiņš, Anastasia, Carbonari. She's born in Italian, it's an Italian name. Mārtiņš, Blūms, Ernest Zēbolts, Kristens Kriegers, Veronika Monika Sturiška. Diving, Jaya Patrika, Equestrian, Kristaps Neretnieks. Pentathlon, Pāvils Švecovs. Shooting, Lauris Strautmanis. Agate Rašmane. In swimming, Daniels Bobrovs and Ieva Malyuka. In tennis, Yelena Ostapenko, who goes by Alyona Ostapenko. In volleyball, Tina Graudinja and Anastasia Samoilova. And in weightlifting, Ritvārds Suharevs. And that's the whole bunch. Sveiks!